Okay, so, last time, on Tourist Trophy, we did the junior license, and now we have just 2 licenses to go, as this time we are going to be doing the expert license, because I figured, since I'll more or less be pretty much nitpicking my way through the rest of challenge mode once we are done here, because obviously I have to get all the bikes from challenge mode before we go racing, I figured it's time for us to head back to the license school and for us to get our expert and super licenses, because I figured that's how we're going to do this before we head back to challenge mode. So 10 tests again, as this time we've got pretty much fun for all the family here, as we've got a Yamaha, a Suzuki, a Triumph, and the Augusta, another Suzuki, another Yamaha, 2 Yamahas in fact, a BMW, another Yamaha, and we're mostly doing Yamahas here. Anyway, let's head over to our first test at Tsukuba Circuit. Dunlop Corner, Chicane, Corner 2, Hairpin. So for this, we are riding the Yamaha YZF R1. And here's your description, because I figured why not. Excuse me. Alright, let's go. Let's get ourselves moving, shall we? And already we are off to a bad start. We're off to a very bad start. Oh yeah, I forgot to change the riding gear. Oh well, I'll have to do that some other time. There we go. That's more like it. Got there eventually. I got there by a few tenths. Or more specifically, I got there by about... yeah, I got there by about 7/100ths of a second. Okay, moving on. 1 test down, 9 tests to go. So glad I got that one cracked eventually. Anyway, now we head into the first corner of Grand Valley on a Suzuki GSX 1300R. Here's your description, because I am giving that way. Okay, let's go. As this time, we are definitely riding one of the heavyweights. And immediate fail. Okay, let's try again. Okay, come on, come on. Okay, am I gonna get there this time? Yes, I do. I get there by 0.2 of a second. That's cool. But anyway, there we go. 2 tests down, and still we have 8 to go in the expert license. Hopefully the next few will be easier. Although then again, that one was pretty easy. Oh boy, we're doing this again. But this time we are doing it on a Triumph Speed Triple. And of course, we have to follow where the arrow points us, because if we don't, then, well, we'll fail. It's basically one of those puzzle-solving tests, if you want my opinion. And you do have to be steady as you go through here. You've really got to take it steady. And you've also got to make sure that you hit your marks as well, whilst you're at it. And I missed the mark. I'm not surprised. You really have got to be very decisive with your signals and wherever they point to. You really have got to make sure you know where you're going. And you've really got to make sure you're on point as well. Okay. Have I got it this time? Yes, I do. Haha! I was slower in those last two, but when it came to stoppage time, I pulled it right back. And there we go. Still, I have got to admit, the way those signals keep changing, it's actually very confusing. And you really have got to be on point with where the arrows point to. You know what? I am going to save the replay here. It's almost like a slalom test, except for saying that you have to follow wherever the arrow takes you. And the only thing you have to do, in hindsight, is not miss. You have to make sure that you're heading in the right direction each time you do it. And eventually that's what I did. A lot of these tests in this game are actually not too hard to get the gold on. They're probably some of the easiest in the game. They're probably some of the easiest in the GT series altogether, but certain ones, as ever, always tend to be harder than others, but there's a lot of easy tests that come in this game as well. And I think this game probably has some of the easiest tests in the game. From what I've heard, at least. Okay, so I need to gain half a second. I think it was probably because I was too hesitant through the S corner. I think that's probably where I got it wrong before. Hopefully this time around I might get it right. And I do. I get it right by 0.3 of a second. Cool. Alrighty, 4 tests down. And that was pretty easy altogether. Once I went for it in the S corner and I gave myself a bit more speed, that was what scored me the gold. And now we are at Midfield Raceway for Test 5. There's your description. I apologise if I didn't scroll through before. We were riding in MV Augusta before, and this time we're riding another Suzuki GSX. I tend to be quite forgetful from time to time. But I will make sure to do what I can. And I fail, unsurprisingly. Oh well, let's try again. Okay, first of all, I just gotta say, on this bike, fuck that chicane. Because there were just so many times during this test where it basically felt like I was on Death Corner. That was basically the death chicane on this bike. As in, every time I went either too slow or too fast and I got loose on the entry, it would basically just decapitate me almost every time. As in, I just could not figure out a way how to stop killing myself as I went through that corner. Until that last run when I actually managed to put it all together somehow. But just to be clear, I hate going through that one corner on that Suzuki. It basically wanted me to die almost every time I went through there. Anyway, we're now at Valencia, where this time we are once again riding a Yamaha YZF, but this time we're using the R6. As we are at the final corner of the Valencia circuit. And I am hopeful in saying that I can manage to get this right. I know it's not going to be a gold first try, but if it's close, then I think we'll be okay. Alright, half a second. That's not bad for a start. But let's try and see if we can improve by half a second. I had to be pretty risky there on the outside, but I think that's probably what gained me all that time. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. It's well over enough. Literally, on only my second attempt, I just dipped to the outside and I literally gained 7/10 as a result of me dipping to the outside. I gotta say, that was pretty easy. Even though those will probably be my famous last words. Especially if you consider the tests that are coming up next. And one of these is at the Nürburgring. As this time we are using a Yamaha MT-01. And we are at the Nürburgring. Which means this is going to be very interesting. Over just how we take this section of corners. I'm also pretty sure this is one of two tests in the expert license we do at the Nürburgring, because the other one we do is on a BMW. I think it's the following test that's with the BMW. However, I know for sure this is not going to be a gold first try, because I'm just working my way through these corners and trying to figure out the best way of getting through. And I fail, unsurprisingly. Almost lost it there, but able to keep myself in check. A little bit of a short shift there. Trying to see if I can make it happen. Don't know how far up I am, but I think I'm far up enough at the moment. Let's see, how close are we going to be this time? Okay, we did get it. we were 4/10 up as a result of me diving on my ghost on that one corner where I more or less had what was probably a 150 IQ entry into that one corner where I passed the ghost, and as a result I gained 4/10. That was actually pretty good. Actually, on second thoughts, I might actually consider getting a replay of the I might actually consider getting a shot of the Nürburgring now that I think about it. I think that might be what I do. Anyways, so we're now on a different section of the Nürburgring North Loop. And this time we are riding, I keep saying driving for some reason. We are riding a BMW K1200R for test number 8 of the expert license. Let's see if we can manage to nail this. Even though I'm pretty sure this will take a few tries for us to get it right. But I'm prepared for that. Let's see, how far off are we going to be? Okay, 8/10. So, got a bit of work to do, but I think I can get there. I'm 8/10 off. I think I can improve on that time. Okay, I'm just hundredths away from the gold now. I have definitely got a lock on this test. I feel like I know where my target is. Now that I've established what apex is to take. I think I've got it worked out now. But as to how I get there, well, that just depends on knowing if I'm fast enough. And this time I am. I go faster by over 3/10. Alrighty. So there we go. By 4 1/4 tenths, I get the gold. Or thereabouts. You know what? I'm actually going to save that replay. Just because it's at the Nürburgring, and also because I know there are no events that are run at the Nürburgring in this game. At least no races being run at the Nürburgring, that is. I thought about the Triumph initially, but then, because this will probably be the only shot I really get of saving a replay at the Nürburgring, excuse me, I might as well do that instead. And now we just have 2 tests to go. But still, I gotta say, a lot of these tests are actually pretty easy to work your way to the gold once you get them worked out. And now we are at Suzuka, and by this time we are riding a Yamaha TZ250, as we head through 130R, and we're heading up towards the Casio chicane. And our gold time is a 26.8. I've not been saying gold times a lot. But I figured I'd say it that time around, because why not? Okay, alright, that's good. How far off the gold am I going to be? I know I'm going to be off, but by how much? I'm a second off. Okay. I think it was because I braked at 130R, and that was probably what costed me the time. But either way, I still made the corners. Okay, let's try this again and see if we can go a second up. Okay, I think I got it right that time. But how far up am I gonna be? Am I gonna be good enough for the gold? Just. Only just good enough for the gold. Jesus Christ. I really had to make sure my exit on that chicane was perfect. Just literally flawless. As I went on the front stretch. I just had to be completely flawless to execute that run the way I did. Fucking hell. It was literally just a matter of thousandths, and yet I somehow got it. And this time, we're doing a full lap of Autumn Ring Mini, and once again using the Yamaha MT-01. And for the gold, we need a 130.9, 134.5 for a silver, and a 141 for a bronze. Hopefully this will not be too hard to get the gold, but we'll wait and see. Although I am going to have to be on it through some of these corners, if I'm going to really nail it. Which is probably what I think we need. But anyway. Let's see how far we get. I don't think this one is going to be gold first try. I don't think I'm quite in that department from what I can see. It'll definitely be a silver at the least, but a gold? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think we're quite within striking distance of the gold just yet. But we'll see how far we get. I just managed to save the bike there. Oh, never mind. It is good enough for a gold first try. I wasn't even thinking about saying how close I was to the gold, and then I wound up being less than a second faster than my target. That was unbelievable. I did not think it was going to be that easy, but there we are. Got the gold, first try, and I didn't even have to think about it. I just had to think about completing the run, and I literally set a 130 flat. Have I got a saved replay already? I'll just check, because sometimes I have to be sure of this. Yeah, we do. Okay. Alrighty. That felt good. That felt really good. I did not think my experience prior to that was actually going to pay off. I'm also pretty sure that's the only test in this whole license that I actually got first try with the gold, let alone my first attempt. Anyway, we now have the expert license qualified. And now we have to go after the super license. So there's our expert license now claimed, and as a result, we now get even more riding gear and shit. And for all silver, we get yet more riding gear, since that seems to be what we're more or less doing here. And now for all gold, we get yet more riding gear. What's it going to be this time? Just 2 helmets. Okay, whatever. And now, as a result of us getting all gold, we unlock the Honda NR 750 from 1992. And there's nothing else to say about it. Oh well, whatever. Anyway, that's now the expert license cleared. And now, all that's left is the Super License. So, let's go and look at our new bike. As we only have one license to go now. So, as a result of us getting all gold, we have now got the Honda NR750. I might also consider using this thing at some point, if I feel like the time is right. But either way, there it is. The Honda NR750 is ours, and it only took me 82 minutes to get there. As we've now got 30 of our 40 gold trophies available to us now. Now, all that's left is the Super License. And our game progress still has not changed. Oh well, anyway. Super License will be up next in Taurus Trophy.